Everybody, welcome to the HoSkar Night. I'd like to start today with a bit of a, first I need to fix my video, I think so, give me a moment for it. I'd like to start with the congratulations to everybody, congratulations to the people that represent the business today, because you made it until the end of the year. We made it to December of one of a very unusual year in our life, in our business especially. And I like to define it as unusually. I don't want to call it challenging. I don't want to call it painful, and I definitely don't want to call it brutal. It was unusual year. Let's hope that next year will be one of the usual one. It's strange, a lot of change happen around us, but a lot of people as well change job, change profession, change in a lot of cases life. That's why in a lot of situation, our HoSkar Night help everybody to really reconnect with industry and business. So we're happy today to be here to reconnect people and next year as well. Okay, my name is Mauro Gasparotti. I'm your host tonight. I'm the director of a Savills Hotel, and later on you'll see also the rest of my team. So I start today with a bit of agenda. If my IT colleague will show us the first slide. Excellent. So today we'll start with talking to our KOL, our speaker. We have a different country representing, we have a different profession, different field. So we have a very round discussion on market condition and new trends. We'll move into having you to speak to us, to our survey or question, and later we'll move into our speed networking part, which will be run by my team. Our second slide, if my team help me too, great. We have a lot of speakers today. Again, a lot of a different country and profession. We'll go through the operational group first, which we'll see a bit more into hotel operation and performance itself. And we'll move into the development talk later on, looking into trends and looking at the building of an hotel, if you like. Okay, so I like to start, but before starting with our KOL, I like maybe to call up some of my team members, which I guess they are connected with us, because as usual, so the slide can go and my team member can join. As usually I do the talking, but they do the actually work. So those are just some of them. The other one are actually working today. No smiling. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. So
hello.
I don't interview everybody because we don't have a team, but I like just to ask Linan, give us your history. Where are you connecting from? Everybody wants to know, where are you connecting from? It looks like an hotel room. Your microphone is off. Okay, connecting later when you do. So I just give you an inch. She's in quarantine. She's back onto hometown to enjoy the Christmas holiday, and they put her for 1 week in quarantine in some place in north in Vietnam. So she tried to smile, but today she was not that smiling. So I'll pass it to Nhung. Nhung, help me out here. Connect with the microphone.
You hear me well now?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Okay.
We haven't, I didn't tell people yet that I'm leaving for Italy for my Christmas holiday. I hope I stay just a month and then be back to Vietnam. But during this moment of being away, I will give the key to the Savills Hotel team, to Miss Nhung over here, which will run completely the business. So Nhung, what are you cooking for our team for next year? How good will be the business next year?
I hope it would be very delicious. So at Savills Hotels, we still strongly believe in the market recovery. We still provide strategic advisory for hospitality project, branded residents, aiming to support more developers, architects, and operators next year. And as you mentioned earlier, that a lot of people changing job and companies. So reconnect, rebuild business network is very important part of the plan. So that's it, Mauro. Is that good enough for you to fly back to Italy?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's give it a try. Yeah, always performing good. So Nhung, what do you have for us? Give us a bit of a space for our great sponsor today, and tell us a bit more about the Media Expert, please.
Yeah, sure. Please, the IT team. Now I would like to take this chance to say thank to our sponsor.
You can log off.
Yes, and I hope I have the slide now with a lot of sponsor and partner from IT team. If you can please help me now. So firstly, I would like to say thank you to VinHMS, Mr. Huang and the team for continuing the long-term partnership with us. Hopefully we'll have more collaboration in the future. And this month we also have a new sponsor, True Digital. Ms. Thung, the business development manager, will share with us more insight at the later part. And of course, a big thank to the hotel and Meta partners to bring the industry people together tonight. So thank you, everyone, and congratulations for tonight, bringing people together at the moment. So next slide, I want to inform everybody that the Meet Expert, the largest real estate and hospitality conference, is scheduled in March 2022 at Intercontinental Hotel Saigon. So expecting a lot of fascinating topics and quality speakers. So if anybody interested in joining as speakers, partners, or sponsors, please contact us. So let's make a big conference next year to shape the market, shape the trend for next year. So, and now let me invite back Mauro and the first group of KOLs to turn on the video, and we start the panel right now. So
thank you. That was fast. They were ready, yeah? Like, let's pretend we didn't train them for the last week or so. Okay, thank you, everybody. Who we have here? We need. Yes, we're waiting. Steve, yes, is connecting, and Markland from there. Okay, thank you, Nyun, for introduction. Thank you, everybody. I think we dig into a bit of a market and a bit of a news into. And I like to start with something very close to us, Ho Chi Minh City, actually. So I will pick on Mario over there, the GM of Sofitel Saigon, and later on, Ms. Funan will follow. So Mario, tell us a little bit more about Ho Chi Minh City. What's going on, and what's your best guess for next year? Give us the good news, but also a bit of a worry one.
All right. Bonsoir, si ciao from Sofitel Saigon. Thanks, Mario, for putting me on the spot straight away. Look, I mean, I have to say November was actually better than expected in terms of F&B. We see, obviously, people are wanting to dine out, get out there. We see that uptick in our outlets as well as little MICE events. So there's a little bit of consumer confidence coming back when it comes to F&B. Occupancy-wise, we're seeing good uptake on the weekends, because people still can't travel down to Vung Tau, and also there's a bit of precarious times in terms of traveling to Hanoi and etc. So we do see a great uptake in staycations, and most of the hotels, like my fellow colleagues, are offering great packages. I mean, it's a great time to experience some of the best hotels in Ho Chi Minh with really good staycation packages. Looking ahead, we're looking forward to, I think, a good festive week, I would say. It's been up and down for the first few weeks of December. January is looking promising, I have to say, from my side, we got weddings and stuff. Look, there is fears. Everywhere there's around the world, there's always going to be fears. But I think what we have to look at now is, of course, is moving to live with it, which Vietnam is doing quite well, especially here in Ho Chi Minh. There's a lot of activity around the city. You can see the people moving. They want to get out. They want to dine. I think the biggest fear for us in hospitality is getting our employees back. I mean, I don't think we're going to have a problem with people coming to dine out or experience hotels. I think it's more about getting our staffing levels back up, people coming in to work. And that's a tough one, I guess, for a lot of us. I think the bounce back is going to be great. Vietnam has been very resilient, I mean, that's a lot of us as hoteliers have also been very resilient, it's been a tough time, no doubt about that. But I have to say, after Tet, it's going to be rock and roll. I'm expecting a boom, and we all are, and we're looking forward to that. So
excellent.
I will try to get Mauro back to the country.
Yeah. Yes. Get me back to the country. We hope to believe into Mario optimism. I don't know if we can, but a lot of us, they really try hard to. So what you worry about? You always give us good news into your main problem is to find HR before finding guests. Yes, that's how you present.
I think a lot of people have moved on to, I mean, it's nearly 2 years, right? And a lot of people explored new ventures, new tryout, new roles. E-commerce is very strong here in Vietnam. So people have gone individual, start up their own businesses. So to come back to hospitality yet, the security, it's a bit up there, right? But obviously, like I said, after Tet, once they start to see the hotels with the high service charge again, the hotels running 60-70%, all the outlets are booming, of course they're going to come back for sure.
Good. Let's hope later Markland will give us good news about other countries as well. Funan, are you of the same optimism of Mario, or what's your opinion into the market today and next year for your Park Hyatt?
I actually agree with Mario, to be honest. From Park Hyatt, we also see very good signals. We start to receive nice inquiries from the regional market. Most of them are short hauls. We have weddings booked already for Q1. Our clients are eager to organize events again. And even the festive staycations, the festive F&B offers are picking up quite well. So I think I am hopeful, and I remain to be very optimistic about at least Q1, Q2 next year. And of course, if the borders are reopened again, hopefully from early Q3, we will start to see more international business coming back. On the not so hopeful side, I am in contact very regularly with the tourism department of Ho Chi Minh City, and they still remain to be quite conservative when it comes to reopening borders. They take a very cautious approach to reopening the city entirely, which I respect and understand. So I think this we might need to keep in mind for our strategies and action plans next year.
Thank you. You see how everybody choose the word very carefully because some owner may be connected. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. A bit of a politics and a bit of politeness is help as well. So thank you very much. I didn't stay there. Please give us all the comment later. I will move it to Mark Land to connect and give us a bit of hopefully good news about Thailand. We all would like to know how is Thailand moving after it's been 2 months of reopening to international. And also, I'd like to know if you see this happening in Vietnam as well. Shall we follow the strategy that Thailand has been following?
Thank you, Mauro. And first of all, I'd say thank you for organizing this. It's a great event. Great to be connected, even if it is just virtually. Hopefully, we'll be connected in person soon. I think that the situation in Thailand is improving, and I share Mario's view or optimism of the future. But I think we also need to be realistic. We're going to improve off a very low base, so that'll be exciting. But it's still going to be quite a low base compared to pre-COVID period. So where Thailand is concerned, they've done a few things. I would say Thailand was maybe a little bit slower than we would have liked them to be in terms of opening up. It really started with Phuket in July. If you consider the Maldives was July a year earlier, and look how they've benefited from having that 1 year head start, and really from providing a haven for people to vacation to, while all other areas were pretty much closed. Where Thailand's concerned, Phuket, as I say, has been open since the beginning of July, and the test has worked. You know, they haven't suffered any setbacks from reopening on the 1st of July. They announced in advance, so people were well prepared, and everything has gone very smoothly. I would say the only hiccup is that, of course, in order to ensure that everything is safe, which I'm sure we all agree has to be our first priority. There are a lot of requirements. There are a lot of hoops you have to go through. There are some additional costs related to PCR tests and insurance and this and that. And all of those elements are elements that are discouraging people from traveling. I think the world over, everyone wants to get out again. Everyone wants to go to a beach resort. Everyone wants to be pampered. But when they start getting into the details and they find out they have to do this, they have to do that, it starts getting, becoming quite a deterrent. And a lot of people subsequently don't plan those trips. So what Thailand has done is they have relaxed some of those measures without compromising on the safety elements. We're talking in terms of the reopening of Bangkok, which, as you said, started from the 1st of November. They were going to replace the PCR tests with ATK tests, which would have been massively less expensive and massively more speedy. But unfortunately, with Omicron, they've decided to hold back on that, so the PCR tests are still there. Just to put things in perspective, without wanting to dampen the mood of this festive pre-Christmas occasion, The visitor arrivals into Thailand through Bangkok since November 1 total 128,000 tourists, 28,000 travelers. Typically, pre-COVID, it was 3 million. Of course, 1/3 of the 3 million, say 1 million, was from China, and we all know China is closed, and that has a heavy impact on Thailand. It has a heavy impact on Vietnam. So one of the big questions tonight is when will China reopen? I'm sure the people of China, the Chinese, are keen to get out again, but it's still quite unclear whether that will happen next year. And depending on the impact that China has on you, it will you'll have that much less to look forward to next year. But in terms of sticking to a plan, opening the doors to some 60 countries without any quarantine, Thailand's done that, executed it well. What's to learn for Vietnam? I think small steps first lead to bigger steps subsequently. The small steps would be to open up Phu Quoc. It's an island. It can be controlled like Phuket is controlled, probably easier than Phuket because Phuket does have a bridge connecting it to the mainland. You start with that. You find out things are going well. There's no increase in incidents or in cases being reported, and then you go from there. And from there, you can create safe areas, or you can create open areas. Hopefully, they'll include Mui Ne and Frank, because we have our unit there. They can perhaps designate areas where they can accelerate or start the opening up, and then when there are no untoward consequences of that, hopefully expand it. But I think the safety measures, they're here to stay. We need to continue wearing our masks. We don't need to on calls like this, but otherwise we do. And we need to really encourage people to get vaccinated. Hopefully the availability of vaccines are there, and we need to make sure that everyone gets vaccinated. And hopefully that will happen across the world, and in particular in developing parts of the world, because we're not out of the woods until 70% of the globe has been vaccinated, and then hopefully we can start referring to COVID as a flu and move on and live life in a more normal way.
And have all of
Sorry
this.
to be a bit long.
No, thank you very much. I think usually I cut people off, but I will never do it to you as long as you have a great content for us. I saw also Funan a lot of idea for her to actually go back to the local authority and just summarize what a good plan could be. We'll come back to you later as well, because I'm interested into the HR issue that Mario brought in, to know your opinion. But I'd like to move a bit into a coastal area, a bit of resort area. So I'll ask Sif to join us and tell us what has happened in Da Nang. It was such a growing beauty, Da Nang, in the last few years. It's been all over the international news, and then suddenly stopped. So what happened this year, and when do you see Da Nang coming back?
Thank you so much, Mauro. I really like to remind everyone and myself that when we look back on April, May this year, we had almost no vaccination in the country. And once the country realized how important it is, the vaccination, and how important to get people vaccinated, I could not believe it that today I will have Da Nang City, for example, 97% fully vaccinated, 100% one shot. When you look at Hanoi and Saigon, our key cities, both are above 90% in vaccination. So that's really the main pillars for us to drive our business. And that helped us to really get ready. From our side, Da Nang, it was a popular destination, and we'll get back again on track. We had similar meeting with the tourism board, the general manager of the central region. We met together to discuss what can be done to really reposition Da Nang and bring it on the map as a resort destination. And I think there is also very good potential as a MICE destination. I think Da Nang has all the possibilities to become a great MICE destination in Southeast Asia. So this is what the city is really getting ready, and how's the situation at the moment. It's opening up. All the facilities are back in operation, except the spa is at the moment is not clear yet, but time will tell, and by time it will resume again. For us at the hotel, we have been busy, extremely busy, not with business, but really beautifying the hotel. The IAG and Sun Group have invested heavily in the resorts to make sure when the customers are coming back, they see the hotel with new look and feel of the property, especially with our upcoming 10 years anniversary in June next year. In the same time, many of us have faced great challenges in retaining and motivating the team. So we really spent a great amount of time in how can we train people and invest in different platforms to get them internationally trained by Forbes or by different resources to make sure we are actually ready when the customer bounce back from the regional or international market. At the moment, our property is open. We have guests at the hotel. Our restaurants are all open as well. The business is still soft in the soft note because this time of the year for Da Nang is a little bit cold and chilly, but still it has its own charm. Festive season is coming really well. Next year is starting positive. Tet holiday is coming across, so we need to have this good positive momentum to really bring a little bit of a new feel to everyone. Business next year, I think from my side, we are still fully focused in domestic business for Q1, possible Q2, until we see the regional travel starting sometime May or June next year. We are very fortunate as a resort that we have a great relationship with the local community in most of the cities in Vietnam. So we are comfortable to work with them and sustain our business and market share until the international travel resume one more time.
Thank you, Steve. A quick question for you. Do you think the luxury market will recover first than other segments?
See, with our hotel, our resort, nature, we can see with the way it's set up, with a private beach, with a great space around. This is where our high room category are actually occupied the most. So our villas are busy, penthouses are busy, and I think the luxury market will come first. And when it comes to rate and discounts, we are changing our approach. And if you don't book us now, trust me, in a few more days, you will see our rates is really exceeding or in line with 2019 already.
Not even me that I invite you to this place just to have that discount.
With pleasure, we will welcome you for sure.
Thank you.
We are recording the video, so make sure that you deliver.
Record the video as well.
We'll keep the promise.
Thank you, Steve. Stay with us. Let's move a bit into leisure location, but I like to see the drive-by destination, which has been popular this year. So Ho Cham, Vung Tau, few destinations has been Dalat, if you like. They have not felt the drop that other destinations. So Mui Ne and the upcoming beauty of that destination. Frank, you guys just opened the new Sentara in Mui Ne down there. It's a fantastic property. We saw the video later, but then somehow the whole area got a bit of a spike into case. So what's the situation over there, and what do you have new for the market that other resorts don't have?
Good evening, everybody, from beautiful Mui Ne here at Santara Mirage. As you mentioned, we opened this year. It has been a bit hectic. It's a huge property, as you could have seen on the video. Therefore, we really had to plan carefully this opening. We actually just opened, and 2 weeks down the road, we were into lockdown for a few months, in fact, which was not so bad as well, because that gave us a lot of opportunity to get the product right, to get the staff trained properly. We managed to keep all the headcounts on the payroll throughout those difficult times. So really focusing on all those preps of a normal opening, I should say. We've suffered a little bit probably from a marketing point of view. We've not really had the momentum on the pickup and put the brand out and about on who we are. But at least we played safe, and we built the foundations for a bright future. So our property is actually an old villa integrated resorts with a lot of unique selling points, a lot of unique facilities, and all the villa actually goes around those main facilities. Obviously, it targets mostly families, so we have a lot of features for children at different age. A lot of pools. We have a beautiful water park for again different age. We have open air spaces. We have MICE facilities to support the volume of the rooms. We have team buildings areas. We have a lighthouse, as you probably have seen on the video. So we have actually a lot to offer. And as such,
Spanish Galleon too, right?
The Spanish Galleon water park, yes, that is
Don't
correct.
forget the Spanish Galleon,
which is beautiful. Yeah, I was going to come to that actually. The whole design of the resort has been built around the Spanish influence. So it's a bit of an explorer playground which was built out. Again, so from a brand point of view and from marketing point of view, there's a lot of ideas to roll out, which we have not had the chance and opportunity to get at as yet. That being said, though, on a more positive note, and I think the Bintwan government has been very supportive, probably thanks to the owning company. I must admit, they are very influential into the province. They are expanding tremendously. They're investing a lot into building Bintwan as a destination. I think the government has actually in the pipeline to build Bintwan as the resort destination within the next 3-4 years now. So in terms of infrastructure also, they are putting a bit of money on the table. As you probably know, they are developing the highway between Ho Chi Minh and Phan Thit, which will take about 2.5 hours basically. So the same distance as going to Vung Tau will be to come to Phan Thit Mui Ne. That will come to life probably end of next year only. On the side of this, they are also developing an airport. It's a bit further away, it's probably 5 years from now. But as a destination itself, I mean, there's a lot to offer. Of course, Mui Ne is still quite undeveloped. Has a lot of natural resources to offer, has a lot of lifestyle and neighborhood kind of feel to experience from a customer point of view.
Do you guys expect a lot of, I mean, the majority would be local business for next year?
Look, a bit as Saif mentioned, we can bet on probably 98% of domestic market the six first months of the year, and possibly going towards more international, gradual opening, I should say, probably first with within Asia, and possibly long haul. But it's going to take a while, in my opinion. And look,
Frank.
Yes,
Frank, sorry to interrupt, but that's not because the international markets don't want to come. They do want to come. It's because of the restrictions in the country. Is that not right?
The borders aren't open yet.
That's right. Yeah.
There are quite a few flights or charter flights to Phu Quoc, to your point earlier, but it's just from point A to point B, and that's it. Really, it's nothing much more than that, as it is today, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some Russian operators, and they'd love to fly into Vietnam with their charter flights, regular charters over this period.
That is correct.
But of course, not yet able to do it. But they were saying that they were hoping for some more positive news soon. So hopefully that will happen.
We'll have to go with the flow, of course. But I was going to reach the point where I was going to say, we actually are offering a very different product from a lot of our competitors. It's a driving distance. It's great for families, and we can see we have business on a daily basis already. Weekends is picking up nicely. A lot of MICE inquiries as my colleagues. People are eager to discover the product and the destinations, and actually they park the car on weekends and they just take back the car on Monday morning when they drive back to Ho Chi Minh or Sunday evening. So again, the offering is compensating a bit the lack of going around, and there is a bit for all to do. So again, to your questions on how about Mui Ne next year, I think for us personally, in coordination with the local government and the protocols in place, we should be able to maintain some sort of base business throughout the first 6 months at least, and build from there.
Everybody want to try a new property, and then Yes.
Mr. Ken Atkinson just asked for the mic, and I allow him. And
You
maybe
allow
Mr. Ken
Ken to get a mic. It's very dangerous guy, but yes,
to
please
give
allow
the mic
him
to him.
into
Yes,
the
so
group.
please open your video because I saw that he put a lot of comment in the chat box. So maybe
Yes.
he would love to say something about the commercial international flights. Mr. Ken, are you there? I think you got the mic already. Please turn on your video. Okay, maybe the IT team, please help me. Okay,
Yes.
okay, he got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, the problem is that I don't think any of us really know. There's different views by different provinces. Some of them are just we want to open, but have no feedback I'm getting is that some of them really don't want to open. And I think a lot of that's due to the fact that there's no real central leadership over this. You know, the Minister of Sports, Culture, Sports and Tourism just wants to delegate it all down to the provinces. The provinces are afraid of making decisions that may backfire on them. And until we've got central leadership, I think it's, you know, we're pushing the boulder up the hill rather than down the hill. But that's my view. And in addition, Ministry of Foreign Affairs 10 days ago sent a letter to the Prime Minister recommending that there's no opening, no further opening, that basically they just maintain the status quo, which is, you know, repatriation flights and having to get all these approvals for people to come in, but no. Can you keep quiet? Sorry, I've got.
Don't worry, we'll end up in CNN.
Yeah. So you know, you've got Ministry of Foreign Affairs trying to restrict commercial flights. So there's obviously people from the industry are pushing very hard. So yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yes, I think.
So, sorry about the background.
No problem. I think he's a bit of guest of everybody when the border opened. Myself as well. I'm leaving for Italy in 2 days, and I just start the whole documentation to be back. I truly hope they will make it much easier. But the reality is we are all here, and we know we rely very much into the local markets in the next year. I think to me, some of the property will still do well. Because it's just limited luxury level property. Some of them, like Santana Mui Ne, is new and people just want to try something that's not been there before. I think there still will be a bit of a complexity in the next few quarters, but slowly we'll get there. I would like maybe to pass it also another question. I think we have a lot of questions for the audience and we don't have much time left. So maybe if you invite Win to ask something. And during this, I will ask Funan her opinion into the luxury market. If the luxury will recover first, than other segments.
Sorry. I think the luxury market will be among the first segments to recover. It might not be the very first, but the luxury clients has all the resources for them to be among the first group of clients that can travel. We have to also keep in mind that with the pandemic, the customer behaviors and the expectations have changed. A lot of them put safety and well-being above comfort. So I give you a very clear example. We have meeting space and we have private dining rooms in our hotel. Before, when we sell the private dining room, we have to highlight that it's very intimate, cozy. It's like your dining room at home. But now we have to highlight the privacy, and the privacy implies more safety. So back to your question, will the luxury market recover first? For those hotels who can catch on the change of customer demand and really adapt how we sell, how we market, how we offer the products and services to really satisfy the change in the customer expectations, yes, for those hotels, they will welcome the luxury market first.
Thank you, Win. I think you have a lot of questions, but just one quick from my side and everything. Because we talk about Asia. So
we have lots of questions.
Mario, are you hiring people?
Yes, indeed. Definitely. Actually, if I can put a spin out, I need definitely a restaurant bar manager, market manager. Yeah, definitely. We have some key roles that we're looking ahead. I mean, like I said, in terms of F&B, we're quite optimistic. I think there's a lot of potential for that, more than occupancy based. So I think a lot of our hotels are going down that road.
Going to F&B.
Really doing MICE. Because I mean, companies here still in Vietnam need to run. They still need to have training. They still need to have people still need to get married, right? You still want to celebrate your birthday. You still want to go out with your friends. So I mean, that's the key. Offer
and
like
usually it's just not enough.
Yeah. So we just need and we need to maintain our beautiful Sofitel standard, living the French way. So we definitely need people. We need great people. We need optimistic people, and we need people who want to drive the passion through to deliver that.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Win, please, couple of questions to Markland and to Sif, just to close the first group.
So we have lots of questions, but I think majority of them has been covered in the discussions. So I have one interesting question here from Mr. Chai Kishan, the GM of New World Resort Phuket. I think this one is for Mr. Sif. Based on the current realities and all the uncertainty that we have been through in the last 2 years, when is the true recovery for hospitality in Vietnam?
See, there was a lot of discussion, and a lot of people are very concerned about the recovery in general and the industry in general as well. I think we have to manage our expectation very clearly. And I think we need to know, and from my side, as I mentioned earlier, I see us going all the way domestic business until June next year. I think the summer season for us here in Da Nang City is very convenient to go domestic or regional. For me, it does not make any difference for us. So from September next year, we expect at least to see a bounce back in the market in a smaller scales. Of course, because we all know, let's be honest, the Vietnamese government, they are very, very cautious. This country, if you do something wrong, is very hard to recover, knowing our economy and our resources. So we have to be very, very careful. I believe in 2023, we will start to see a little bit of return to kind of normality, if I may say. And all the way to 2024, I will see us in 2024 coming back to 2019.
Yes, I remember making this projection already back then.
Thank you. I think we are about the time to close the first section, and I have more questions in the chat box.
Sorry,
maybe
one time to Markland, please. I want his opinion on when the recovery, quick one, but when do you think the recovery will be in Asia Pacific?
Yeah, I think we've all seen projections by illustrious companies like yourself at Savills. And it's of course not as clear as we would like it to be, but the consensus seems to be, as was just stated, probably not before 2024. Where we're concerned for Thailand, we're looking at about 50% of pre-COVID levels for next year. That would go to maybe 70-80% in 2023, and then by 2024 we should be at the same level. That's based on a like-for-like comparison, so it doesn't take into account new properties coming in. But some markets, I mean, a market like Maldives, if you look at the arrival patterns in August, September, October, and compare them to 2019, they match completely. So for those 3 months, they were at the same level as 2019. And that's quite incredible when you consider that a big part of the arrivals into Maldives was actually from China. So they've managed to diversify their source markets and substitute with more from India, more from the Middle East, more from Russia. So that's happening in the Maldives because Maldives has an open policy, open borders, anyone can come in as long as they're vaccinated and they can show a PCR negative test. If the test comes back on arrival as positive, then they're separated and
in the water, no?
Not in the water, but in some cases they stay in the resort where they are, but they're sort of quarantined in their unit, which of course is possible to do there. But really they've found a formula that works, and the success of Maldives is a reflection of the pent-up demand that exists. You know, people want to travel, and if it's made easier to go here or there, then that's where they're going to go. So right now, Thailand is making it easier. We're undoubtedly a little bit ahead of Vietnam, but hopefully Vietnam can take some lessons from Thailand, be a little bit more bold, and open up those borders in a controlled and safe way, and start seeing some of the dividends. In the meantime, we all need to do more for our domestic markets. You know, the domestic markets aren't able to go outside, so let's give them more opportunities to have unique experiences inside. Be more creative. The pricing is can't be beaten. So let's bring them on in.
Mui Ne.
Oh well, that's Mui Ne.
He didn't over there.
Yeah.
Domestic
As a
demand
travelers, we are waiting for a good rate from the hoteliers here.
Yeah. I think that's the key for local market to speed up.
But certainly driven mostly by domestic demand. You know, we're looking at many properties that will be sold out over the festive period, Christmas, New Year. And that's mostly driven by domestic demand. I'm sure there's a lot of that in Vietnam, and give them a reason to travel, give them an experience to remember, and they'll take it up.
You told me that your last trip was in Vietnam, correct? Your last trip overseas was
my last sort of business trip overseas, March 2020, just before the curtain came down.
Good. So we're looking forward to have you here again as soon as we open. Hopefully
maybe March 2022 at the Mid Expert Conference. So
yes,
we'd love to see you there. So Mauro, we need to move to the other part, but I just want to remind Ms. Phương Anh, you have a question from Selena Chang about the reopening plan and hotel brand factors. And other KOLs, we have a lot of questions in the chat box. So please reply our audience here. And thank you, everyone.
Stay connected. We'll reconnect later. I saw Mario enjoying a few drinks already, like me. So I'm looking forward to talk to me in 30 minutes to see whatever come out of the discussion. Thank you. The next team in.
Yes, please, Mr. Dr. Nuno, Mr. Huang. Yeah, everybody here. Okay.
Wow, that was fast. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I'll make it simple. I try to still connected with the luxury segment and luxury talk. So I would like it just to move it quickly and to connect to Vishal here from Capella Group. As you clearly see, he liked the advertisement on the back. It's fine. We allow them to. Please tell us a bit about the luxury market this year, not just in Vietnam, but regionally. Is that holding well? And what's your taken for next year?
Thanks, Mauro. Yeah, I think, the last 12, 15 months, at least for Capella Hotel Group, has been fairly resilient, considering our opening. We've had about 3 successful openings in the last 12, 15 months. We opened our property in Bangkok. We opened Capella Hanoi, which is in soft opening right now. And then we opened our new branded property, Patina, in Maldives. So, and all these, different markets, of course, have different situations, based on regulations and based on sort of at what stage of the pandemic they are in. We think that, generally luxury has a better chance to recover. And I was listening to the earlier panelist earlier, and we completely sort of agree with that, in general, I think the way we look at it is what are travelers really looking for, and what does luxury mean for them? As travelers, they're looking for more sort of travel with family. So you're seeing more intergenerational travel that's happening. In this pandemic, people have really realized that spending quality time with loved ones is, something that, you can't delay, and you want to do that right now. So we're seeing a lot of intergenerational sort of family travel happening. We're seeing travel with a lot of groups and friends that are traveling together. We're seeing that in a property in Maldives, as well as I think people are really looking for authentic experiences. And that's something we try and offer at all our properties. So somebody visiting a destination, real luxury is not just getting a comfortable room and great service. That's kind of a given these days. It's really what can you go, how can you go beyond that? What true and authentic experiences can you offer guests that are visiting, which they would not be able to find as an individual traveler or as an FIT. So as long as a brand or an operator is able to deliver that, that's really true luxury.
And do you
in our
believe
perspective.
that decreasing in price is helping people to now experience luxury that they will not have experienced before? Are you guys, coming with a bit of a promotion to shake up demand?
So in markets which are purely domestic, we are certainly looking at certain promotions. So for example, our property in Singapore again hasn't really opened up until recently. So we were relying heavily on staycation packages. My business, of course, was muted. So yes, I think wherever there is situations where international travel is still not happening, you're relying more on domestic sort of visitation. We certainly are looking at some promotions, some combining it with local experiences, local wellness offerings, in some cases even virtual engagements to really give a sort of a different option to guests living in that space. So yeah, we're doing that in local markets.
And a last quick question: is Vietnam ready for true luxury? Are you guys want to expand more here? I mean, you are about to open one property. You have it open already. Do you have a plan for more? There is a space for more.
Certainly, we really do think Vietnam as a market has potential. Of course, we've opened one in Hanoi right now. We are quite confident that there's a lot of untapped potential in the market. It has a potential to at least come at par with Thailand. Thailand is at about 35 million pre-pandemic levels. Vietnam has not even half of that. So there certainly is a lot of potential. There are a lot more destinations that are opening up. And I think you can see that, the government has been sort of spending on infrastructure and on improving connectivity. So yes, certainly we do want to grow and expand our brands in the market.
Thank you. Let's move still into luxury. Stay there, and I'll move the ball here to David. Tell him, what is luxury into design? How a designer would really envision and transmit the experience of a luxury? Maybe if you open your microphone, we can even get the full experience.
Okay, you can hear me now. Hey guys. So David, Studio Nor, we're the ones hoping to be involved in design projects more and more in Vietnam. I'm not sure it's that definable today, Mauro. I think luxury today, especially in Vietnam, is point of difference. I think Vietnam is an incredibly diverse market. That point of difference, whether it's authenticity or whether it's experiential. There are so many hotels in Vietnam which offer exactly the opposite, whether it be the Amanoi, or whether it be Hotel de la Coupole, or whether it be Topaz, are all luxury products. Different value in terms of how much one pays to stay at that resort, but all have a commitment to design. So I think luxury in design is that commitment to design. Amanoi, obviously, incredibly well designed, detailed, it's about materiality. Hotel de la Coupole is about that bizarre experience, that's something special in a certain location. Whether it fits, whether it doesn't, is that challenge, but it's interesting. Topaz, which is basic luxury. I think that's the interesting thing in luxury today, is that there's the opportunity that it's not luxury of the St. Regis or the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons, all of which maybe not the St. Regis, but all of these hotels are now opening up in Vietnam, which is a very different market to what it was, 25 years ago, when the only luxury product in Vietnam was the Anamandara or the Farama. Today, that point of difference is the most important thing. The idea of choice. For us, it's simplicity, but something that's been set up in this market thanks to Bill Bensley and thanks to several hotels that he's been involved in Vietnam, is now this thematic idea, these layers, this story, this narrative, which I think appeals very much to this market. And we're finding ourselves, we're working on designs for projects in Phan Thiet with Novaland, which is relates to the Centaur group who just opened there, which they're asking for something which has something thematic, which after just opening Azurai and working together with Adrian Zecker is completely opposite from a certain idea of luxury. But I don't think there's a specific idea of luxury today in Vietnam.
Which operator would be for this Novaland property?
Oh, this is a Movenpick. So it's a 5-star. So not exactly luxury. So it's 5-star, but it goes back to what we were saying about bringing families together. I think this is also a key component, especially post-COVID or during COVID, is the ability to travel together as an extended family. So for us, part of this hotel, we're making sure that there's a connection between suites, between rooms, and not just having connecting rooms, but rooms which have a real connectability. So you're able to travel as a family group.
And you bring in a bit of a team into that? Is there some hotel, the design itself, we follow some sort of path?
Well, yes, well, there's also a boat. There's a pirate ship as part of this this design, which at the beginning was something quite shocking to us. But actually, it's enhanced the design of this hotel. And we've had amazing discussions with this client and also the operator as how you actually bring in the story. And of course, there's this idea of thematic design, which moves away often from this connection to place, which for us as a designer is very important. Having been here almost 20 years, for us, it's important to have that connection to Vietnam. And this hotel doesn't have a connection to Vietnam at all, which is bizarre. And I don't think neither does the Centaur that just opened in Mui Ne. But
sometimes
okay,
it's
different levels.
Is Vietnamese, they want to try something that doesn't exist, something new to the country.
Exactly. So there are different markets to appeal to, and I think especially today when traveling is very much domestic, especially at the moment, you have to appeal to different elements in that market.
Excellent, thank you. Have you ever worked with a Capella, or would you like to?
Well, not exactly. However, we haven't, and of course I would love to work with Capella, especially with the artwork collection that the owners have. But we're somehow connected. We were involved with the one and only in Dubai, and we were working with, for me, one of the best interior designers who was around at that time, which was Jaya Ibrahim. And I think that was an interesting, with the Capella in Singapore, which was Foster and Jaya, which is obviously an interesting combination. Foster making something incredibly contemporary and technical, whereas Jaya wanting to do something very enigmatic and not themed, but with a sense, yeah, would love to. I've seen the Capella in Hanoi. It's it's over the street from the Metropole, so they're bringing on the game.
I'll connect with you later, David, and I'll connect you to the appropriate teams internally.
So HoSkar Night become a bridge between expert to expert and developer to consultant.
That's the whole point of a business. We took you 4 HoSkar Night to get it. Okay,
yeah. It's interesting, Mauro. Before you continue, I'd like to say one other thing. I think there's been a lot of mention of the Maldives today, and I was actually just before this call, I was on a call with our client in the Maldives, and they were telling me that actually their resort is fully booked at the moment. The same numbers as it was in 2019, and they're now looking to us at the moment to expand that resort. So it's amazing how because some markets like Thailand is maybe ahead of Vietnam, and Maldives is in a way ahead of many places. This ability to open up is interesting, and actually people are dying to travel.
They are. And then, yes, I'll be doing in 2 days. I'll be traveling back to Europe. Thank you, David. Stay there. We'll come back to you later. Let's move to something very different from luxury and talking into technology. And I like to bring Huang into this space of chats. And I asked him before, I asked him last week if he can elaborate for us a little bit more into this metaverse topic and tell us if these things which 2% of us truly understand, if we will get any change into the way we travel or into the hospitality industry. So metaverse on hospitality.
For the record, I have to move from beer to whiskey for tonight. All right. I don't know why I always get in the hardest question, man. But yeah, so here we go. So, all right. So what is metaverse, right? So in a very simple way, right? It's just a virtual world where people represented by avatars could just interact with each other and with AI. I mean, it's not new, right? In the last, I don't know how many years, people have many different approaches. If you are old enough to remember the game called Second Life in 2003, it was
not.
That. All right, so you were young. Yeah, you're not that old. And then so they have something called VR, virtual reality, and then like AR, augmented reality, and then MR, mixed reality. And recently they have a thing called XR, which is extended reality. They're all just different way how you can just like be in here but see things in the virtual reality and things like that. Now the thing special about recently Facebook or Meta announcement is that it shows no camera. And from my technical point of view, for the technical community, that's the reason why it sounds more fiction than reality. Because I wouldn't bore you with the technical, but it's going to be very hard to represent whatever in front of you without camera, or with a camera that's so tiny that you don't even feel it, and things like that. And then so the question is, will it affect tourism? And I think from my point of view, it's a no and probably. So in the short term, from 3 to 5 years, not really. I mean, hotel will find a way to use AR and VR as a way to tour an attractions or to view a room or to visit a hotel, right? I mean, so it's just another way to add more information to the trip. Maybe in a year or two, you have like AR review on TripAdvisor. So it's not just like viewing a tag, but you see, hey, the view is not that good. I see the wall and things like that, right? And then MICE, I think, is one of the industry will be used AR and VR a lot, partly because of COVID. It's going to be really hard to travel. So people will try to use, AR and VR to do conference, and they're going to call it like virtual conference or hybrid conference and things like that. And as usual, I think the ultra luxury hotel will jump into this AR and VR first as a way to showcase their hotel, their amenities. How do you feel the view from the Abu Dhabi, tallest building? You won't feel it until you see the view, right? So that is the thing that I think they would try. Now, a little bit longer term, in about 10 years, I think probably it will affect the tourism industry. Again, MICE and business travel will be affected the most because, now instead of you have to go into many different country or many different events in a very short amount of time, you can do a combination of physical travel and metaverse travel. Basically, try a virtual event, right? And then hotel can take advantage of all these like machine or robot or avatar to build your personal butler, right? 24/7. So right now we have something like that. It's called like Amazon Echo, right? Or Google. So imagine something like that. So at any time, 24/7, and then you just like, hey, I don't know, Sheraton, right? Or Vinpearl, right? What's next for tomorrow? Or I'm hungry, or I have a family. Where do I go? So this kind of thing, it will come. But there's one thing that I think that worth mentioning is there would come many ways for hotel to increase the revenue or find a way to commercialize, even without meeting the guests. Because as of now, right, the only way you can collect the money from the guests is actually they be here in your hotel, right? So they spend the money in the hotel. Now with the metaverse, I mean, the moment is ready. So forget about all the technology. Then imagine if they can replicate the same environment to either your home or to either your smaller hotel in your staycation. So let's say, you if you go to Paris, for example, you always want to stay at the Ritz Hotel, where Coco Chanel live and Ernest Hemingway stay. Or if you're in Hanoi, I think the Sofitel Legend Metropole is where you always want to stay, right? So these landmark hotel, they can create these kind of packages, right? And then they can like sell or rent to smaller hotel, or even to the guests. So let you recreate your room in a hotel or at home so that you can feel the atmosphere. All right, if your hotel overlook the Times Square in New York, for example, I'm not sure how many of you been there, right? But it was crazy in the New Year's Eve, right? So you can sell virtual package to guests so that they can feel that they, from the balcony, looking down to the square during the famous New Year's Eve countdown. So that kind of thing, I think, is, maybe that's a new way for hotel to commercialize or to make more money from the guests.
We play the real estate game. I understand. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. But personally, man, I mean, from my point of view, Metaverse is the opposition of travel. Travel is about indulging, feeling, taste it, you smell it, you touch it, you hearing, and you see the sound. At best, at the moment, the Metaverse will let you experience the hearing and the sight, of course, right? The touch is coming real quick with all these like AR, glove, and things like that. But the taste and the smell are a very long way to go unless you're willing to implant a chip in your neck. And that is, it's very unlikely, right? And also,
I'm not sure if it's that unlikely. At certain point,
it's up to you. I don't judge, right? So humans are social animals, and people travel because we want to, not really because we have to. And from my point of view, there's no like reality can replace the reality of meeting people or visiting the attraction or feel the sea and things like that. So my final recommendation to all the hotelier friends out there: get your rooms ready, keep training your staff, and don't just get out of hospitality yet. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a positive note at the end. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. We have a few questions, and later on, Nuno would like to add on that. But before him, I'll pass it to Ms. Tung. If you can tell us a bit more about technology as well from True Digital Vietnam. What do you bring into this country in terms of technology to help hotel to maybe get a better HR, better system, more safety? What you guys are bringing to the country?
Thank you, Mauro, for interesting questions. The product that we bring to the Vietnam market to help the hotel, to help the traveler to feel safe and to feel like really comfortable when they stay in the hotels. And you can see that the impact of COVID pandemic has significantly changed the customer behavior in all aspects, including the tourism. They have become more aware and concerned about the safety and the hygiene. Unless the hotelier ensure their safety, guests are not choosing them. The hospitality industry start opening up, and from my point of view, the guest solution, the digital guest solution, is a good way to attract guests because the guests now expect everything to be contact-free, right from the check-in until the check-out, and during their stay at the hotel, to ordering the F&B, ordering room service, or to get more information about the sightseeing and learn more about the event and tourist attractions. Based on our experience working with Thailand Tourism Associations, when implementing the Contactless project for all of the hotels enrolled into the Phuket Sandbox model, we found that the guests provide many positive feedback to the technology, especially they feel safe when they stay in the hotel. Furthermore, I think that the contactless solution not only help to increase the guest experience, but also help hotels, firstly, to reduce the workflow from the staff, but still enhance the productivity. The secondly, saving money by replacing all the paper, all the collateral that we are using to put on the table in the room. And the last one can help the hotel to generate the revenue from the additional outlet from the hotels. I can give you an example that we have the client in Thailand, a group with around 300 room key. After using the contactless solutions, their F&B revenue increasing around 20%. The request for spa increasing 25%, and owning one platform for housekeeping, for engineering, and for other service in the hotel as well will also increasing. So
this is for the mid-scale and upscale, also for the luxury. Will you see a Capella moving completely into that kind of product, contactless, or people in a luxury environment, they still want to meet up and have a tailored butler service for them?
Yeah. So I think the contactless is the key trend for the industry when the traveler demand is rebound. So maybe it will be new in Vietnam, but in global, and especially from my mother company in Thailand, it's really popular. Many hotels using that. Yeah.
Thank you. So looking forward to have you more guys next year. We discuss about having you guys at our media expert event to really showcase this product, to explain a bit more to the hoteliers and the GM. Okay, I like to move to our latest, but I choose him latest one because I'll ask him a question and then I go on drinking and we'll keep educating the whole market about whatever you ask him. No, please, a professor here of RMIT University. I would like to ask from you a bit more into the education of the industry, how is changing the education of the market. But please, of any topic we discuss it today, add on whatever opinion you have it for us.
For sure. Thank you so much, Mauro. Thank you, Savills. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And as a true educator, I'm going to say it all connects back to education, right? From the very first speaker today that we heard, what we all know as professionals, we have a dire shortage of qualified human resources in tourism and hospitality in Vietnam. And we have been struggling with it for 20, 30, 40 years, something like that. I want to provide you with an optimistic view of tourism and hospitality education in Vietnam. If you look at it historically, it has grown by leaps and bounds. Do we still need more qualified graduates? Absolutely. And I want to give a figure just so that our audience have a glimpse of really what we need. Assuming pre-COVID levels of tourism and hospitality, both domestic and international tourism, every year we need a minimum of 12 to 15,000 graduates, a minimum. This is just to keep the machine going. This is not to take it to the next level. So figures of 2019, we graduated 4,000. So now you do the math with me. Where are the other 6,000 to 8,000 personnel that we need to fill the industry with? Well, it's clear where they're coming from. They're just not coming from a place of education. Right? They're not properly trained, not properly educated. They do not have the necessary expertise. We can do like we've been doing for the past 20 years, which is to rely on foreign experts that we bring in. They tend to stay for a few years. They're likely to train the team in whatever hotels or tourism facilities that they stay, but that's very non-reliable. You know, they may leave at a moment's notice. They may not stay for as long as we'd like them to. And here in Vietnam, we are really struggling with the quality of education that we provide. There are some pockets of excellence. You know, fortunately, I think the government has had the foresight to recognize that you can't just build tourism and hospitality education in 1 or 2 years. It literally, education policies, as you well know, they take decades. So they've relied on foreign institutions that now operate here. I work for one of those foreign institutions, if you'll forgive the publicity. And we do the best that we can. But again, we're a small drop in this big bucket, right? So one of the things that we've been discussing on and on and on, that I like to, again, underline this very optimistic tone that what COVID has shown us is we have a new understanding of the market. We have a new understanding of what our guests want. We have a new understanding of both domestic and international tourists want and the immense potential that Vietnam has as an international tourism destination. Well, as a true educator, I think the linchpin for that, for delivering quality experiences, for increasing the return rate of international visitors, for turning what is a 5 to 6 day experience to a superlative experience, much like our colleagues in Thailand have revisitation rates of 30%. Ours is around 12 when we're lucky. If we can make our educational system grow in regard to tourism and hospitality, I have no doubt we'll achieve that. And let me just say something in regard to what several of our speakers were discussing in regard to technology. We need to provide that education early on, not just at the university level, but we need to have our graduates in tourism and hospitality be technological savvy at the high school level, so that whether they go for an associate's degree, whether they go for a bachelor's degree, master's, or even a research doctorate, they are already cognizant of the use of technology. We used to be an industry where we can replace people with machines. That's changing slightly. And if we're not aware of new technologies and how best to use them, then we'll lose the race for other destinations, for other countries who are very much in the running. And lastly, really just a word of appreciation to all of the speakers here today who recognize that education is important, who want to hire qualified graduates. Hey, internships, my kids need some internships, so I'll be more than happy to send you a few. But I hope you'll become advocates for education as well, because that truly is the way. And it will not be easy. It will not be fast. It does not happen in 1 or 2 years. Again, a good educational policy takes decades. But I think if we all work together, for sure, we're able to do it.
Thank you, Nuno. Just a question for me. When the whole crisis hit and hospitality was one of the probably the most destroyed to the knee industry, did you see more people rolling hospitality?
Yes.
Or less students?
Yes, we actually saw an increase.
Why the hell the industry dropped that people want to enter?
That is a most excellent question. Why did we see an increase? Well, first, simply economic reasons. When there are times of economic crisis, individuals tend to resort to education, putting their careers on hold. They see it's an advantage that they will have in the future. I think there is no doubt in anyone's mind that either on a worldwide level or speaking only of Vietnam, we will recover from the crisis. There is zero doubt. The only question is now is when. Well, that's actually a very appealing question. If you do not have a terminal degree in tourism and hospitality, this is a perfect opportunity for you. And paradoxically, because we spoke so much about tourism and hospitality in the media, I think the general public finally grasped the immense power that tourism and hospitality has for Vietnamese economy. I think we have official figures between 7 and 8%. More optimistic figures go up to 12, 13, 14. I'm more inclined to the latter. I think 15, 16, if we add parallel economy, it's even greater. So the weight of tourism and hospitality in the country's GDP is great. And what, fortunately, the COVID situation did not so great for our colleagues in industry in tourism and hospitality, but it made the public aware of what a great rewarding field it is and the economic importance of that same field in the Vietnamese economic fabric. So for us, we're riding high. It was pretty good.
Do you think everybody in a few years will move into virtual education, or the university will still exist in part?
I think there are some modules that we can deliver virtually, but in our industry model, I think nothing beats face-to-face, especially because we are in an eminently practical field. And for example, we can do somewhat of a virtual internship, but we need the students to be face-to-face with the general managers. We need them to shadow the assistant F&B manager. We need to have hands-on experience of food and beverage, for example, and that has to be done face-to-face.
I'm asking that because I'm struggling to bring back my team to the office. They just get so familiar into these virtual things, but it's good to know that I'm not the only one to try to
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Mauro. Yeah.
Thank you. One more question for you, just a quick one before I pass the microphone to Don. What's your opinion into the recovery generally? When hospitality will be back?
Do you want a researcher's opinion, or do you want
your opinion? Straight on.
Okay. My personal opinion, I think we will see an uptick next year in the third quarter, but I think the real recovery will not start until the last quarter of 2023. I think we will see an increase as things start to relax. But again, as a couple of speakers have highlighted, until the worldwide population has reached very high vaccination levels, I do not think we will see true recovery. And particularly because communication and transportation channels are dependent on their high vaccination rates. I'm thinking here, for example, of airlines. We will certainly see an increase starting, I want to say, third quarter of next year, 2022. but that will not be enough to return us to pre-COVID levels. That will only happen optimistically last quarter 2023, a bit more realistically early 2024.
So this 24 has come out from few of the speakers today. Seems
I think so.
the answer that everybody will
be realistic. But Mauro, if I may, this is an opportunity, not just for Vietnam, but for a lot of countries. And I think two speakers have mentioned this as well, to redirect a lot of our efforts to the domestic market. I still maintain that it's a highly untapped potential that we can develop in the interim, but between now and the time when international economic recovery truly happens.
Thank you. I'm moving to stay there. Everybody stay there. Nyung, I'm giving you the key of Savills Hotel, but also the microphone now. What is the question we have for this team and how we move forward into the event today?
We have a lot of questions, but since we have too many interesting part for the audience to interact also, so I just want to ask maybe one question to Visha. How does guest experience transform in luxury segment during this pandemic from operation aspect? So let's say a guest from an audience.
Okay, I think first, I mean, from an experience perspective, I think I wouldn't say it's changed that much. You know, I mean, of course, we do have more stringent, safe and hygiene standards that, as a given, have to be implemented. But as I had mentioned earlier, the one trend we're seeing really is we're seeing a lot more uptake in wellness usage. So spa and wellness usage has really increased quite a bit in our properties. In some cases, increased as much as 10 to 20% from pre-COVID levels. And we're also seeing a lot of spends on activities and experiences where people really like to, not just stay in the room, dine at the hotel. They want to explore and try and really get a true and authentic feel and experience of the destination they're visiting. So I would say wellness and experiences are really what I think has sort of changed more and getting a lot more spends from a hotel perspective.
The wellness part, yes, I agree. There will be a bigger trend overcoming into that, and I think David will be designing much more wellness elements.
No, David will be asking a question. David's question is what's the difference then between city and resort hotels? I think there is a big difference between what's happening in resorts and destination developments than what's happening in the city. I think there becomes quite a big separation between the way hotels are developing today in the city, especially in Saigon, our local environment, and of course by separation. But what is that difference today? I mean, Vishal, you have, I think, both city hotels and resort hotels. How do you see that difference? I mean, the idea of spa and wellness, is that as relevant for hotels in resorts or the city? I know.
So I think in our space, the sort of positioning that we are in, we've always sort of catered to the leisure, high-end leisure traveler. And so, when we select a location for our site, it tends to be, even within the city context, it's more of an urban oasis. So like, for example, a property in Singapore is in Sentosa. Again, Hanoi is sort of the more leisure belt of Hanoi, near Opera House, near Hon Kim. So I think it's a little different in our context, because even within an urban setting, we will tend to go for more leisure visited or leisure sort of prominent locations. Because our market is different.
But do you think then today urban resorts are more relevant to city developments than typical city hotels?
No, I think both are still relevant. I think it really depends on what segment they're targeting and what purpose they're built for, what scale they are built at. A hotel which is, the fact is that cost of real estate is only going to rise, and you in order to make the economics work, actually what we've seen is we're seeing a lot of sort of mixed use developments in urban locations. So a lot of them are sort of combined with office, with branded residences or service apartments, retail, because in certain rate stressed markets, you just don't get the rates, which can make a standalone hotel only sort of the economics work for that. So, you are seeing a lot of mixed use developments in the urban context. which I think in Southeast Asia in general will continue to see that because of rising real estate costs and just making fundamentals work economically.
Well, in Saigon, that's very relevant for the Ritz-Carlton, which I'm not sure exactly of the price today. I'm sure Mauro and Yum can tell me, but the last thing I know was $30,000 a square meter for an apartment, a branded residence in the center of Saigon. I'm sure the JW Marriott is probably around 15 or 20, but yeah, that's quite a.
We will have a section about branded residence next year. So just Sean, a mid-expert, and we will answer. Yeah, we will answer everything. So let's move to the survey part. So the KOLs, please stay on with us, and then you can share opinion during the survey with us.
Can you get some of the KOL back? Is Mario there? Is Markland there? Fungan, or they leave us already? They are there. Yes.
Yeah, they're still here. So the IT team, please show the survey.
Wait me a moment. I think there was a few things that we can still have an opinion of. Mario, for example. I don't know. Okay, Jung. So run the show, please. Go ahead.
You're too late. Win, may you come back with me to just interact with the survey. So the first question is: would the new variant impact international border reopening? A, not at all. B, a bit, and C, heavily. So please vote right now. Win, are you there? You want to give some opinion, or I will go ahead with the KOLs?
Yes, thanks, Neil. I think we're working in the hospitality industry, and we already know that some countries they raise the restriction, they even close the border. But I think it's still early to judge the impact of this new variant. So I hope that it just impacts us a bit. That's why I choose B. But maybe, let's see how our KOL think.
Everybody's choosing, yeah. Mario, what do you think? Just give us your opinion. You started very positive, the whole thing. Please keep up on the positivity.
Look, it's too early to tell. Like everybody else, it's way too early to tell. And for us, anyway, we're closed. So we're still going to drive the domestic market. The longer we say close, also, it's the better. So let's just get our domestic market back to what it was like Saif said, back in April and May. Then I think all of us hotels are going to be great. And let's see then another 4 or 5 weeks when the experts say that, this is not as bad as they think. Let's hope the borders open up in Q2, let's say Q3. But
Yeah, I see that the majority a bit. I mean, I also agree that a bit of things. Nuno, do you have a different opinion?
No, I don't. I agree with Mario. I think it will affect a bit, but from the research that we've been doing, at the same time, there is a certain tiredness with these constant new variants and constant developments, and of course the media tends to hype. And we have to figure out that once we do reach a point that, according to health experts, is somewhat safe, there will be some saturation from the public. Oh no, here comes another variant, but I still feel safe already. I've had 2 shots, maybe I have a 3rd or 4th booster shot, and that will, I think, slowly but surely increase demand.
And Fungan, did you get any cancellation after some of the news that maybe the whole world was a bit of a shaking again?
No, we don't feel any impact yet. No cancellation due to the new variant. I think it's a bit too soon. We are picking up as normal.
That's great. So the survey result is 80%. I think 79% people vote for B option. I want to ask one of our audience. I think Mr. Jong Nguyen, he grabbed the mic from his director from Redefined Hotels. Can you just show your video and share your selection option?
Hello. Hi everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
So which option you choose?
I go with the majority line for next year, even the border reopening. So I think the international market will increase a little bit. As we can see, based on our last 6 months experience, so there is very tough restriction between cities and even provinces to provinces. So we have no guidance or clear instruction yet from the government or even local authority. So that's tough for the tourist, and especially for the event or booking in advance. So that's very difficult and challenging. So for next year, I think will be the domestic tourism going to be our key driver as for the last 2 years.
Okay, thank you. So
And
please,
sorry,
yes.
one second. Ciao, you remember that we have another webinar on Friday morning, and you are in my
Yes,
panel.
I remember. Thanks.
Good.
Okay, let's move to the next question, please. So in the meantime, we can drink a little bit and cheers when we wait for the second question, guys.
Okay, is he already? I think this one is quite sensitive. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay, so
When you reply, we don't actually know.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the
consensus
answer.
with this one. I'm not even sure if it's worth discussing.
Yeah.
So
So
okay.
even my team, they are worried that I will see the answer. Don't worry, I will not. This system doesn't allow to see the single answer. So, Ponyung, be honest.
I hope so.
Mauro, you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I secretly put my option there already. I want to ask her, our great team member. So what's
Don't
your
touch her.
viewpoint? I just touched the ball.
Hello, Nhung. So yeah, I think you know my answer. So I love my team. I love Savills Hotels. So definitely it will be C.
You see, that's a team spirit.
Good.
Okay. So I want to see more results. So I see that the result is 70%. Not at all.
Wow. A lot of lies.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. This one is just so sensitive.
But don't worry, because Mario just confirmed that they are hiring a lot of people. So whoever click on definitely, please apply in Sofitel.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Much appreciated.
Okay, so next one is about the sustainability. So what is the top trend in sustainability in 2022? So what's your comment, our KOLs? Anybody want to say something?
Well, it's a bit of everything. I think, to be honest, it's difficult to point out only one answer, in my opinion. We should be all aiming towards reducing all these elements part of our operations overall.
Yeah, sure. And also, like maybe David, how about the eco-friendly materials and design trend? You think it could be something change?
I think the conversation of sustainability, which has been around for 20 years, isn't such a difficult one. It's, you know, use local products, use local suppliers, use the latest technology. This is how one should be sustainable. I don't think one should be, you know, there are many new things, and many trends, but I don't think sustainability is a trend. I think it's something which actually is quite obvious. Like, you know, when we were working on the Azurai in Kega, you know, 3.5 hours away from here, Adrian Zecker asked us only to use local products, local people, local designers, and that's what we did. So I think it's about being local. For me, that's what sustainability is about.
Yeah, thank you. So I see that 66.6% of the audience and the KOLs choose the first option. So a majority of us agree on the first option, reduce plastics products. So
sorry, one question for Vishal. What's your most sustainable built Capella hotel?
Actually, our most sustainable build would be our hotel in the Maldives we just opened, which is under the Patina brand. So we're trying to get a LEED certification for that. And when it comes to Capella, it would be the Capella in Ubud in Bali. You know, that would be the most sustainable Capella hotel.
The Splendid Resort?
That's right. That's right. I just want to add a point on sustainability trends. I think it's, you know, the operational things, as Nuno said, are more of a given. But I do think that guests, in terms of how they choose destinations, how they choose properties, I think sustainable practices of, you know, what these brands and what these hotels adopt, I think is going to be a key decision sort of factor, you know, of why I as a guest would like to go to a particular property. And so I think it's going to be extremely important, you know, because travel and decisions linked to sustainability practices for brands and for hotels is really going to be something which will play a very dominant role going forward.
Thank you. Nyong, please go ahead.
Yes, please move to the next questions. The last one. The last one.
I want to chase of drink. We'll do later.
We can. Okay, just after this. So we.
I think it's also quite interesting. So, which trend will become the most popular in Vietnam in the next year? A, staycation, B, working from resort, C, team building, and D, the rise of Gen Z. I'm sure Moro will choose B, right?
If we have the budget.
Yeah, you
Working
got the
from
budget.
resort. I did choose that one, yes.
I also choose that one. Maybe I ask one of our audience, Miss Queen from Best Western. She is around. Can you just pick up and share your opinion?
Marius voting for staycation.
Yeah, for sure.
Chị Queen, are you there? So maybe I pick Miss Phương Anh, our KOLs, to choose the option from her.
And I also like from Phương Anh, the rise of Generation Z. Do you have that client? Do you have a very young client that book and maybe stay for vacation? Or usually your clientele is a bit more Mauro's older guy?
Before the pandemic and the long lockdown, we have more senior clients and older guests. However, we see more and more young people coming through our doors every day to enjoy not only F&B but also rooms. And when I pick the rise of Gen Z, I'm not just talking about clients. Let's look at the employees as well, our team members. If we notice next year, 2022, the children who were born in 2000 will enter the workforce, and that's the entirely new workforce. So we as the leader, as the management team, have to be ready and prepare for these young associates and young talent. So that's why I picked the option.
I didn't know you picked that option. I guess I just guessed. I'm happy you're right. Nuno, anything on that? Your Gen Z coming, or your student? Yeah.
That's my particular field of study. They will lead the way, whether we are prepared for them or not. They are perhaps the generation that has dedicated a greatest percentage of their discretionary income to tourism and hospitality. They are looking not even in greater quantities than millennials. They are looking not just to acquire things, but to acquire experiences. And if we can provide those types of unforgettable experiences in tourism and hospitality, their rate of return is actually very high, as there is their loyalty to a particular experience or brand. And like our latest panelist just mentioned very astutely, we should think of Generation Z not just in terms of demand, but in terms of supply as well. Our next batch of employees are going to be Generation Z. So if we fail to do the work of understanding them and understanding their needs, wants, and motivations, we will not be competitive.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Miss Queen, are you there? You want to share your opinion and the selection? Otherwise,
hello.
Okay.
Hello, Nhung.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Thank you for the question. So I think workation is my thoughts right now. So the second option, because I think it's going to be the trend, not only for the years to come, because COVID is still around, and it's kind of the blend between the leisure and the business, and I think working from resort will shift the way people think about the normal life when we already suffer a lot from perpetual lockdown restriction. So I got to pick the working from resort or workation.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask Mauro for that. For
my team was not listening all this great.
Okay, so let's we end the survey now, and everybody we turn on the video to take a
sorry.
photo.
Before going, opinion from the IT side, Juan, on your Gen Z approach. Do you think people will rely much more into technology, on especially the younger generation, and how the technology will impact on the guest experience on the younger generation?
Of course, man. I have you look at the kids right now, and so they don't have the definition of waiting. They are very they don't want to see the loading bar. They want everything instantly, right away. So it will put a lot of pressure on the technology side. How can you deliver something that they want at the moment they want? understand the context. So it's going to be everything regarding to the hotel and the tourism and the industry. And so, if there's a company who can figure that out, then they're going to be very successful. And I haven't figured out.
But you're already successful. You even want more. Thank you for that, Frank. Anything to close the survey before we go? Anything from your side? Do you think work from resort will help you a lot?
Look, from my perspective here, being away from the big city, I see people really dying to get back together, to spend a bit of time together, to enjoy together, to have meetings together. We have quite a number of inquiries. Even FITs, on weekends, people book 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms just to be together, just to enjoy together. So that's how I perceive the word team building in that section.
You right. Thank you very much, Nyung. Please.
Okay, so please on the KOL stay open the video and also our team, and then we do a cheers photos selfie together. So
but everybody wanted to open the video. They can.
Yes, the KOLs and the team. So the IT team, please just close the survey. Okay, so are we ready for a cheer shot before Christmas?
Wait, we still have some people that did not open the video.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me to join today.
We still have another very interesting part, which is the just a very quick introduction about the selfie contest and also the speed networking. So please stay with us. Just to quickly show that our previous HoSkarian, they took the photo selfie and post on their social media, and congratulate to our previous winner. The 3 beautiful ladies that you saw on the screen, they won the voucher from Intercontinental Hotel in Phuket and also from Wing Hotel. So be the next one to win the voucher from Sofitel Hotel Saigon. We will put on the details of the voucher in the chat box. And now moving quickly to I'm sorry, I forgot the script. So when you take a photo, you need to post on your LinkedIn or Facebook, and then you tag official page of HoSkar Night, and remember that tag the HoSkar Night page so that we can count your like. Okay. So now, Win, can we move to the speed networking?
So for the KOL, if you guys want to stay, you can. You will meet people in the speed networking. Otherwise, thank you very much for participating today, and we'll all follow up with you. Thank you very much, and our sponsor.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for
everyone
the
from the Savills team.
Thank you. Win, may you share your
Yeah.
experience with the speed networking last time?
So thank you everyone for staying with us until now. But if you have time, please stay with us because I guarantee you this session is very interesting. So the platform will automatically match you with one of our attendees. It's like 1-to-1 live video. You will have 3 minutes to get to know your partner, to introduce yourselves. It's like an elevator speech. So after 3 minutes, it will match you with another person. So we will have few rounds of networking. So please stay and enjoy with us.
That's so like Tinder.
Yeah. We're gonna buy some dates.
So
from...
I have 3 minutes to introduce about myself, my company services,
Yes.
and then make
Looking
connection,
for
right?
a Christmas date, Nyung? Yeah.
Yeah. Try to get a date.
Okay, so let's get it started now and see who we're gonna meet next. Let's
Sorry,
start
how do they work? It will just work
the
automatically.
IT team. Yeah, the IT
We
team
don't
will
need
do
to
it.
end,
We don't
yeah?
Kỳ vọng của du khách dành cho khách sạn đang dần thay đổi. Mọi người không chỉ tìm một nơi nghỉ ngơi mà còn mong muốn một trải nghiệm đáng nhớ trong chuyến đi của mình. HCMS, giải pháp kết nối nhịp nhàng mọi hoạt động vận hành của khách sạn để đem đến trải nghiệm trọn vẹn nhất.
True Digital is a digital transformation leader in Thailand, pioneering in cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, blockchain, cloud-based solutions, Internet of Things or IoT, and robotics. True Digital offers a wide range of digital products and solutions that promote business efficiency and reach, while offering safe, engaging, and convenient touchpoints for customers. Bring your products close to where customers are. So let your business take on a new meaning today. True Digital, your partner in enabling your business's digital transformation.